Hi, my name is Kayla Jenkins, and I am a student at the University of West Alabama, gaining my master's in K through 6 special education. Today, I'm here to discuss addressing reading deficits in special education students through SPIRE. For my research plan, I chose to use SPIRE. SPIRE is a multisensory reading program. This means that according to an article from Torlovokic and Barnum, SPIRE includes lessons that target visual, auditory, and kinesthetic strategies to improve reading and keep students engaged. Clark Edmonds explained that reading instruction is most successful when it is systematic, explicit, and sequenced. This is why the district I work in has chosen to use SPIRE as its main reading intervention for special education students. In an article written by Stevens in the Journal of Exceptional Children, he noted that students with special needs consistently perform below their peers in the area of reading. This is a concern due to the number of special education students needing to meet proficiency on the reading screener. In my experience and research, students struggling with phonics also struggle with reading. This correlates with the score shown on the ACAP summative assessment. The research shows that students below grade level in reading are also at risk for failing academically, according to an article written in the Journal for Learning Disabilities. The graph you see now shows the level scored on ACAP summative assessments by third grade students where I work. Level 1 is the lowest possible score, and level 4 is the highest. It is to be noted that no students in third grade scored on a level 4 range, whether gen ed or special education, with all 19 special education students scoring in either level 1 or level 2. There is an apparent deficit that is affecting our third grade population. Upon further investigation, we found that deficit to be blending and decoding words. The graph you see now shows the students who were assessed by our reading screener in first through third grade who showed a deficit in the area of pseudo-words. Pseudo-words are nonsense words that help students learn how to properly blend and decode. According to the graph, third grade students showing a deficit in pseudo-words is almost double the number of students in all the other grade levels. It is also interesting to note that students with a deficit in pseudo-words increase when they get to third grade. As you can see, the data collected proved a significant need for the special education students at Taylor Wright Elementary. They needed to receive an intervention program that addresses their specific reading deficits. This also allowed students to experience a multisensory program while teachers collaborated on the techniques that worked best for their groups. For my sampling group, I only worked with third grade students. Third grade was chosen because according to the Literacy Act, every third grade student must be reading on grade level in order to move on to the fourth grade. My research plan involved creating 2 groups of third grade special education students who showed a reading deficit on the previous screeners that you saw. These screeners are given at the beginning of the year to all first through third grade students. Each group consisted of 6 students. The sample technique used was convenient sampling because I am the special education department chair where I work, and this gave me quick and easy access to monitor the experiment. One group of students participated in the SPIRE Reading Intervention Program, while the other group did not. Instead, they participated in their regular general reading services. A highly qualified special education teacher provided both groups their services. However, the group who participated in SPIRE worked with a teacher who was trained in implementing the program to fidelity. All participants were randomly assigned a letter to protect their identity. When collecting data, we did not use any students' names. Informed consent was sent home for the parents to sign because the participants were minors. I did receive signed consent on all students. The instrument used throughout the entire research was the screeners required by our district. As you can see, each pseudo word is broken down into different parts for phonics. Every kindergarten through third grade student is assessed on letter names, letter sounds, pseudo words, and fluency 3 times a year. The fluency portion is timed to only 1 minute, and to ensure the validity of results, each group will be timed during their groups and only receive 30 minutes per group time. The study did run for 6 weeks, and the students were pulled for groups 4 times a week throughout those 6 weeks. These times were logged on a service tracking page. Lesson plans were provided to each teacher, and the lesson plans were used to ensure that students received the SPIRE reading instruction and that the other groups only receive lessons based on their current IEP goals. What we considered when we did this research, or I did this research, was absenteeism was our biggest interference. We had students who missed interventions, but it was noted that our students who participated did not miss more than 2 interventions. Another consideration that we had was home life. A lot of our students come in hungry or are upset when they get off the bus or come in from car line. So to help with this consideration or this interference, we provided snacks before we started the interventions so that students were not hungry and could concentrate as needed. As you can see, each student made improvements, but the students who received SPIRE showed more significant improvements than those who did not. Group A received SPIRE, Group B did not. One student who did not receive SPIRE showed regression. After further investigation, this was not a student who was absent for intervention. In reflection, what I would change would be to have more grade levels involved. I feel like this would show how SPIRE helped each grade level instead of only one. I would like to research more programs outside of SPIRE as well. While I enjoyed using SPIRE, the routines could be very young for the third grade group, so they needed more incentives to pay attention the entire time. They often became bored when repeating words or drawing the letters in the air. Overall, I feel like SPIRE is a great choice to address reading deficits.